So what's
Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? Sus, we back with a weekly podcast, Big Gamer Small Talk. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot of controversy. You see the title of the show. Let's tackle this first. 343 Studios making some bold claims, supposedly quote unquote, behind the scenes. So we got going on, crap.
Well, this was according to, and as you stated, it's just so far it's like through sources that apparently Hip Hop Gamer has talked to within 343 Studios, and according to Hip Hop Gamer, again we state as a rumor, this is not us stating it as fact, but that they have said that Halo 5 is going to look better than the Order 1886 when it releases.
No, not even. Yeah, wait, hold on. Shit. I got you guys coming through, but not even so much that. The other thing they said that we all played Halo 4. I mean, remember the CGI? They said right now the gameplay in Halo 5 looks better than the CGI in Halo 4. I think that's that's bigger than. I'm sorry, that's bigger than the old. Looking better than the Order. That's huge. You remember the cutscenes, the opening fucking cinematic trailer for Halo 4? That shit was beautiful. You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Can it happen? Like I said, we have yet to see a game take full advantage of the Xbox hardware, tower resources, DirectX 12, and all that shit. Is so. Like I said, I'm happy with what I seen from Halo 2. What they calling it? The remaster, the remake? What they call it?
Anniversary. It's Halo 2 Anniversary.
Yeah.
Is it remastered or was it a remake? What are they saying along those lines?
It's running both the engines. It's running the original and the new one.
And in one engine and time together, or some shit like that. I was reading, but they're calling The Last of Us remastered, but
Yeah, they're not remakes. They're just taking the old games and like sprucing them up a bit.
Well, as far as a remake goes, the Halo one's as big a one as you'll see because most of them just up the res and stuff. You know what I mean?
It's a different graphics engine.
Yeah, they're running one right over top, and then at a press of a button, I guess you can switch to the old graphics or the new ones or whatever.
But Halo 2 it's supposed to be a new engine or something. The remaster, right? They're not using the same thing.
No, the original Halo, they did the anniversary. It was a different engine. It was the old engine and a new engine.
Blur is the one that did they redid all the cutscenes or whatever, right? And apparently there's over an hour of cutscenes in this game, and they all look like that, like the scenes that we've seen. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Well,
I can't wait for it.
Did you guys see the trailer on the Xbox dashboard?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, I will say this again, okay? If that's just the tip of the iceberg on what they can do with the Xbox One, didn't they also say that the game could have been in 4K resolution or some shit? But
they said it could have been in 4K, but they're running the multiple frame buffers and engines over top of each other, and they did something to the AI or something. They said that they did a lot to it, a little bit too much to actually make native 4K, but that they could have just had they normally done it, they could have done native 4K with the game. So.
I just want the game. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, me. I just like the features that it has in there to where
What game is this? You talking about
Halo 2? Halo 2. Where you can play the marathon from Halo 1 all the way to 4 non-stop. I think that is pretty. As I said on my channel, it's nice.
So I guess we're not going to see no ending credits. We're gonna go straight through what's that? What is that? 3 when he rides the bomb or something? He got his hand and he brought the fucking riding a torpedo or bomb. Is that the end of 3 or something or 2? When he's fucking Master Chief was riding his fucking bomb out of space.
No, wasn't that 2? And then that led into 3 where he crashes to Earth.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, that was 2 where he does the bomb thing and then lands on Earth and that's how.
You know what though? Who's gonna actually play all the way from 1 all the way through in one sitting?
Not one sitting, but I'm going to definitely play through. I mean, it's gonna, as an Xbox One owner, it's gonna keep me busy for a while. Those 4 games.
Yeah.
Co-op on them, don't they?
You could actually.
You 1 and 2 are
like that.
Yeah.
Up to play 1 and then save and then go into.
I'm not sure exactly how that works, but 1 and 2 is 2-player co-op. 3 and 4 are both 4-player co-op each. So I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like it evolved. What like the original Xbox, you could do the 2-player co-op. Xbox 360, boom, they upped the ante. You got that 4-player co-op going. I think that's a pretty big important thing. Just going back real quick to this this so-called rumor about it being better. If I don't 100% believe that 343 said this, right?
No.
That seems like a little bit.
I don't think they'd give it out that quick.
Well, it seems like that's.
But look, just to be fair, crap, he said that somebody with close, ties to 343 is what he was saying. Like somebody.
Yeah, it could have been somebody said that shit like offhanded or something.
It could have been like the guy delivering pizza to 343 that day.
Oh, come on, man. What's the hip-hop game was right about the battlefield with the cops and robbers. You got to get in that.
He was wrong about the new 2K game, though.
Oh, yeah, of course he was wrong about that, man.
Yeah, I could have told him that. I would have bet $1 million on that because the license is EA's, so... but yeah, I think it's a little bit odd. It's like, I don't know, people are like, well, of course, say they did say it. People are going to go, of course 343 is going to say that. They're making the game. They're owned by Microsoft.
Right.
But then you look at the other perspective, and Ready at Dawn's like, only on PS4 could this be made. You know what I'm saying? Or when you have Naughty Dog say DirectX 12 is going to be no good. Of course they're going to say that because they're not working with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it can go either way. You know what I mean?
It's very easy. Okay, out of all three you here, is Halo 5 going to be a bad-looking game?
Hell no.
No.
That's the game that's going to.
Okay,
Microsoft is hoping to push the Xbox.
So that ends the discussion. It's going to be a great-looking game.
Yeah, because we can see what they have done so far with the Halo 2 remastered. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, Halo 5 is supposed to come out next year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yep.
2015. So 343 Studios, so they're working on both projects simultaneously? Like, Jesus.
Actually, okay, it's difficult. Okay, Blur did all the cutscenes and stuff.
Right.
Certain Affinity and another company did some of the remaster and porting and stuff like that, right? And then you have somebody from 343 overseeing it, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So just like the Halo 1 anniversary, I doubt that they had like a whole team of it themselves on it, while they probably had a few people overseeing it.
Okay.
They're doing quality control, but they're not doing any of the actual coding.
They're working on 5.
If you look at Certain Affinity and I believe Saber Interactive, some of those are ex-Bungie people. They do all the Halo map packs and stuff that get added on. So these guys know Halo. They know what they're doing. It's not like that's specifically their job, I believe, is just doing ports and stuff and helping do this kind of thing. So I think that it's in good hands because Halo 1 was really good.
Yeah, the anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I was hoping for though? I was hoping for a special edition like box set with like
maybe
an art book or something like that.
Maybe Gamescom. Maybe games. We do, like I said, we do got some surprises. We're supposed to be revealed at Gamescom. I'm fuck a box. I'm hoping for a bundle, a Halo.
Yeah.
I don't. Because what's that? In the France retailer didn't leak already about the all-white Xbox One for Sunset Overdrive bundle for $400 with the Kinect. They just took it off their site. That's like, you get the Kinect, the Xbox One, and Sunset Overdrive for $400. Jeez.
The thing is the date could have been wrong because that said that it doesn't release till November 28th, which is way off, way off.
Missing Black Friday and missing Black Friday and they're missing Black Friday. When does
Sunset Overdrive comes out at the end of October, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
October 28th or something. So that would I don't think they're going to release that a month afterwards. I mean, I think that we got it's going to be an interesting next week or so from Microsoft because Gamescom is coming up, which kind of leads me into the next topic anyway. They released a teaser trailer. Gamescom, for those of you that don't know, is Europe's E3. And usually these companies kind of phone them in because North America is very important. But Microsoft hasn't launched all over Europe yet. So they have to have a really good E3 because they're launching in September in a lot of these countries. Yeah, so Gamescom.
You said,
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Well,
at Gamescom.
he
My
kind of
fault.
tied it in. They got him because he was saying it's like their E3. Look,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's Europe's E3, so they've got stuff. They put out a teaser for this. They're broadcasting it live, which they didn't do last year. Last year they announced Fable Legends at Gamescom. They didn't do that at E3. It was at Gamescom actually. So they say they got some surprises. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually announce a game or two that we don't know about yet, and we're gonna see, of course, Quantum Break demoed live on stage.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that. I love Remedy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Quantum Break 2. I mean, that's been a game I've been really interested in seeing a lot more of.
But you know what's crazy? Showstopper done. And listen, and I'm not going to say Sony fans. I'm going to say those Sony extremists. When they were showing the Quantum Break, the trailer, and they were saying that was the CGI and comes out with the real fucking game, like that fucking blew me away. You know, when he's turning the corner and he goes to punch the motherfucker in the head or whatever, I thought it was a cutscene though. You know what I mean? And come to find out that was actual gameplay. Like Jesus, I'm really looking forward to the game. You know?
Yeah, it's good.
I don't think that's going to be a downer. You know, I think when we see that, we're going to really be blown away.
It's I don't know why everybody's so surprised that there are good-looking games coming. You know, like people expected not to have
it's the perception that the Xbox One is vastly underpowered when it's not really. It's not as powerful as the PlayStation 4. Yeah, it's not as powerful as the PlayStation 4, but it doesn't mean that it's like so underpowered that it's barely an Xbox 360. There's like a lot of misinformation out there. The Xbox One's a very capable machine, and especially when you're going to have, this is what happens, exclusives are able to take full ability of what a console can do. Multi-platform games can't really do that. That's why for the most part, multi-platform games, unless it's something like id Software doing it like with Rage or something where they take 5 years to do it, and you know what I'm saying? Most just push them out the door, you know what I mean? They're trying to get their paid or whatever, and it's the exclusives that really show off what you can do, as they should. And so obviously Remedy knows what they're doing. I think Alan Wake looked phenomenal on the Xbox 360. It was one of my favorite games.
And that was in 640p.
640p, guys. Jesus, it was still higher resolution.
That was missing a lot of P's right there.
That was
that
a good game.
Missing a lot of P's.
That was great, dude. I played that game, and then when I got finished, there was a first chapter, whatever. I was hooked. And you guys probably will know a Roy Orbison song called "In Dreams."
In Dreams,
plays at the end of the first chapter, and I was hooked. I'm a big fan of his, and old school song from like the 50s and 60s. So you hear it, it just fit in with the atmosphere. I was like, damn, I'm hooked on this. And then you just wanted to see. That's like one of the only games that I bought the DLC for, like the 2 story related DLCs. Yeah. Well, no, there was 2 story related DLCs to the game, and then American Nightmare.
American Nightmare, right?
Yeah, so I bought all that. I was like, hell yeah, man!
It was a good game. I don't
know
think it was a good damn game. I beat it. It was a good game.
I liked it a lot.
The best part to me of the game when you was on the stage with the pyros and shit was blowing up, and that shit was awesome. You was on that stage and shit. You had unlimited ammo. That was nice. That was fucking nice. You know
what was cool about it was psychological. Like the Xbox wasn't really known for having like these really good like single player experiences. And this was one of those really good single player experiences that had a fantastic story. It was narrative driven, like wow. And the combat was different, with the whole light aspects, and I thought a lot of the light and all that stuff was really well done. The shadows and the atmosphere was just like, it was rated teen, right? But I thought that shit was scarier than like the Resident Evil games at the time. You know what I mean? Like,
that was spooky.
It was like the atmosphere they did. It had nothing to do with gore. Like a lot of these games that come out that try to be scary nowadays just try to scare you with gore, and that's not what does it. It's atmosphere, and that one had it.
Stay in the light. Stay in the light.
That's why the Evil Within looks so good.
Oh, I can't fucking wait. That's another game. I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna be scared as fuck to play it. But Jesus, I can't wait to play that game. That game looks awesome though. The Evil Within.
Yep.
What do you guys think you'll see at Gamescom? Just while we're talking about it, I mean, do you think they're going to show?
Okay, which game is next weekend or next Monday?
It's the 12th. It's the 12th. Is their official conference is the 12th.
Okay. I expect to see for Microsoft. Well, again, like I said, they still have a lot of exclusives that like we just stumbled upon this Mercury. I think that's going to launch with the Xbox One in China.
I want that game here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
I thought they didn't have where they do exclusive content for over there, but whatever they release is for everybody. But
Well,
apparently
you got websites like Play Asia, and like I said, the Xbox is usually free. You got websites like places like Play
that Mercury
Asia.
game looked nice.
You can import it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's probably like $70 or something.
Hey, while we're talking about Gamescom real quick, there's this really good it's just an Xbox site called xboxmad.net, right? Good guy, the guy
Oh
on
yeah,
Twitter,
Jeez.
yeah, that's his name, right? He did he did one of those crowdfunding things to get to Gamescom, and they got up the money. He's going to Gamescom. He's actually going to ask questions that, like, I asked him to pose a couple questions. Some people on Twitter are. He's going to actually ask the questions that the fans on Twitter.
What's the name of the site?
It's called xboxmad.net. And this is one of the best Xbox sites I've ever seen. It's new. It just came out this year. It's
been here before, yeah.
It's UK based.
Yeah, it's UK based. And this guy's going to Gamescom, and he's going to be asking questions. Hopefully, doing a lot of interviews and stuff. So I thought I'd shout them out real quick. They got their crowdfunding in to get the plane tickets and stuff. I think that's really cool. Those are really cool guys, and I think that they'll ask the questions. I think I asked them to ask Kojima a question why they sandbagged the Xbox One version of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Not really a resolution thing, but why do you?
I'm going to answer that one.
I know, right? But, that was just one of them. I'm going to have some more for him to ask, too. But, Jesus, I mean, that's one of those things that bugged me a little bit. It's like, wow, they really sandbagged that one. But, yeah, so I just wanted to say that real quick since it was kind of tied into what we're talking about. Yeah, it's going to be – I think it's going to be huge because most people are thinking – I think, like
Hey, crap.
Yeah.
You should just ask Jeez to run through Germany screaming, "Rack 'em."
That'd be classic.
You know what though? I think that a lot of people stop digging for the leaks and stuff after leading up to E3 because they think that's the big one, right? The biggest thing of the year. But this is just as big for the Europe and things like that. And I think that there's going to be some surprises actually.
I hope so. I hope there's some things that we haven't seen.
Do you think this Mercury game is a surprise that maybe was supposed to be shown off? The game looks good. It's running on, for those of you that don't know, there's this game called Mercury. It's a Chinese, I guess, exclusive.
There goes Showstopper windsurfing again.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You guys can see it on YouTube. There's some cam footage. It's running off, I think, Unreal Engine 4.
Is it 4?
I don't know what it is yet, but it's definitely running off Unreal Engine, either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But, it's an exclusive. We just don't know much about it. Maybe it got leaked. I'm not sure, but maybe this might be something we're going to see at Gamescom. But the fact that Remedy Games is going to be showing Quantum Break, I think, is enough to get people excited here anyway. I'm excited for it. So.
Is this supposed to be a more in-depth look at Quantum Break?
They're doing a stage demo.
Stage demo. First ever.
Wow, that's going to be nice.
Yeah, they confirmed it.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah, we're going to see.
I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait for somebody to count the pixels from Germany.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see him with a controller in his hand with Digital Foundries.
Hey, you know what though? Okay, look. Remember, I posted a video about the Digital Foundries thing on The Last of Us, right? Because the game is advertised at 60 frames per second, and Digital Foundry found that Last of Us, right? And so Digital Foundry found that it's not the case, like it dips down. And I've heard some people come across Twitter and say, hey, it does dip. I had to set it to 30 or whatever because it got bad at certain parts or whatever, and that's fine. I was just pointing out, hey, it does this. And they're like, oh, you hate Digital Foundry when they're talking bad about Microsoft. If you look at the article that they posted about The Last of Us, they totally praised The Last of Us. They damage control, then it drops down in frame rate. I mean, that's the difference. And if it could be a Microsoft YouTube video and they're going to count the goddamn pixels. With The Last of Us, they're like, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, sure, it does drop down to 46 frames right here, but it's gorgeous. It's the best looking game. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? It's like they damage control within the thing. Yeah.
Like I said in my review, first opening, I'll say this: when the game first come on, it grabs you, the story, your daughter dies in your arm, but it gets very repetitive to me. I wanna get through it, but it's not as fun as it was at the beginning, but not as interesting, I guess, to me. as it was in the beginning. You know, throw a bottle here, make him run over there, then sneak up behind him, choke him out, same shit. You know what I mean? Not saying it's a bad game, but it's not the game of the 7th generation by far. You know, no, we're not gonna go that far. And again,
I'll stay quiet on this one.
I'm just saying. No. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying the game is bad, but it's not the game of the generation. Like,
you know what was interesting? I follow a lot of people on Twitter, and like some of them were like, I can see why people like the game, but I got a lot of people saying, you know, that played it for the first time on PS4 and said it's definitely not this amazing game that people tried to push it out to be, like a lot of the stealth and repetitive stuff in it. So, I mean, I think it all comes down to opinion. Some people might be like, hey, it's awesome, and that's fine. But I'm just saying,
I look at it as just preference. You know,
if you think it's like the most
people
amazing
like
thing,
it,
fine. You know, that doesn't mean.
I mean, when I played on the PlayStation 3, I liked it, but I'm not gonna pay another $50 or whatever to play it again. That's I'm not gonna do that. You know, but because I already had that experience, that story already, so I didn't see the need to really just go into that.
You could take
and it's only a year out. It's only a year out, so it ain't like, you know, something I forgot about. You know, like I forgot about Halo 2. You know, I ain't played that in like forever. You know, so I'm curious about that, but
last time I played Halo 2 was 2005.
Yeah, so that's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah. I can't wait to play the collection. I
cannot wait. But no, I just thought. I mean, I didn't even really want to talk about The Last of Us that much. I was just pointing out that even though I did bring up the Digital Foundry thing, and they did bring up that whole point of The Last of Us not actually being 60 frames per second consistent, they buried that part in a different story. Just like when they brought up Killzone being like 720p online, it wasn't titled Killzone's actually 720p online. It was, could we see games that go 1080p 30 for the single player, drop to 720 and 60 for multiplayer? So they bury that into that article. That's what they do for Sony, right? And then with games like Sunset Overdrive, they actually count pixels and frame rate test at E3 just by taking footage of it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. And no, I don't like Digital Foundry. I think that they're biased. I think there's a lot of bias going on in the community, and I think that lady who wrote the Last of Us review for the PS4 on GameSpot got fired because she gave it an 8, and the ponies absolutely erupted, those extremists. And
well, it's not intentional. I mean, by all means. I mean, I'm not saying that the game is bad, but if I say this, if you already played the game, like, you know, I'm just saying the game doesn't look like
Who got fired? What are you saying?
The reviewer.
The lady that reviewed The Last of Us Remastered at GameSpot, she gave it a 8 out of 10, which is a great score. That's a great score, right? She was blasted in the comments, people hating, threatening her. You know, oh, get rid of her. She's a fanboy. Blah blah blah. How could she not give it a perfect score? You know, and then a day or two later, she got fired.
And she got fired for reviewing a game in 8.
No, they didn't say that she was fired for that, but just quote unquote coincidence.
Wicked did.
I know.
They gave her the wink thing. You know what I'm saying?
They're like, you don't understand.
They ain't telling. They ain't saying why, but.
Yeah, we put resolution, and then we get all the ads and stuff, and the people visit our site because they're pro Sony or whatever. You know, it's just like what a lot of the fake YouTubers do, pretend to like one thing or dislike another. You know, GameSpot and these sites do the same thing.
I know Polygon also gave it an 8 out of 10, the remastered.
Yeah, you know, it is. I mean, I think, didn't they give the original a 7 out of 10?
Who, Polygon?
Yeah, one of these sites gave it a 7 out of 10 or something, or 7.5. I completely agreed with that one.
I mean, look, it's not a 10 out of no game. There's no game that's a 10 out of 10. I just don't believe that. There's nothing that's a 10 out of 10 because there's always something you could find wrong.
You know, I found a lot of glitches in the PS3 version. Like, you can get stuck in corners. Ellie comes up behind you and like rams up your ass or whatever. You get stuck in a corner. You can't do stuff. Like, I had to restart like a lot of encounters and stuff numerous times because of that. So I think that anytime there's games with glitches or frame rate issues, it is not a 10 out of 10. But you know, it is preference. Yeah, it is preference. You know what I mean? I mean, did anybody really expect Colin Moriarty not to give the game a 10 out of 10? Really? Hell, he probably should have gave it. He was sounding like he wanted to give it an 11 out of 10. You know what I mean? He was like so in love with that game. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they gave it a 10 out of 10 on the PS3, so I didn't expect anything lower. You know.
Well,
Well,
that
it's a
begs
good
the
game,
question.
crap,
Yeah,
man, but
do
it ain't the game with a fucking
Well,
generation. It's
the only
not.
thing that was
I'm
really
sorry.
funny about that, like I expected him to give it a 10 out of 10 because he gave it a 10 on the PS3. What was really funny is if you look last week, they were talking about could The Last of Us be Game of the Year again? I'm like, come on, guys. You know, it's a remastered, it's a remastered game. I mean, it's a very good game, but now it's going to be Game of the Year this year.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I don't know.
Dude, that's like saying, hey, GTA 5 is coming out again this year and whooped it in the VGA award.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so that's coming out again too. Is that going to be Game of the Year again? I think that once the game came out last year, same goddamn game. Get out of here with that.
What's the over? What's the over and under on the Halo Collection review?
I think it's going to get an 8.
9 out of 10.
You think it's going to get an 8?
I think it's going to get a lot of 8s.
Oh wow, okay.
I think it's going to be a 9.
I think it's, if you look at the Halo 1 anniversary, didn't actually score that great, and I thought they did a really good job with it. The problem is, I think, it's straight up Halo 1 anniversary from the 360, and they upped the res and stuff, of course. Yeah. But since that didn't review well the first time anyway, I don't know. Halo 2 anniversary is going to score well. Halo 4 scored well to begin with. Halo 3 as well. So, but I just think that people are just going to find reasons to nitpick.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not going to be a 10. I don't want it to get a 10 because that's ridiculous. But I don't see it just on content alone getting lower than a 9.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some 8s in there. I mean, 8 to me is a great score.
Yeah, that's a great score.
Great. I mean, what day and age have we got to where a game has to be a 9 or a 10 for us to be impressed with it? 8 is good. 8 is great.
Yeah.
I think that when you get into the 6s, that's more average. Maybe 7 is a little bit up average. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I've played a lot of 6, 7 games that were rated 6 and 7, and they're great. I love them. So you really can't take these reviews with too much certainty.
Dude, at the end of the day, these people that are doing the reviews, they're just opinions as well, just like all of us. We all have opinions on stuff. And what will piss me off if Colin Moriarty does the Sunset Overdrive review?
No, he won't.
I don't know. He did the preview.
Yeah. I don't think so.
He wears his Sunset Overdrive shirt, even though he's an industry guy who only plays on one console. Where's Warrior Ward's pen and paper video when we need it?
Yeah, right.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Real quick, also, big news this past week: EA, which we haven't talked about as a group
no
yet.
No value.
EA Access announced, and the fans rejoiced. Except for Sony fans.
No value.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm enjoying the EA access that I have.
It's nice.
It's games that I have not played in a while, like Battlefield 4, and I've been playing that today. Madden, I had turned it in because I didn't like it at first, but now it's $5. I can play it how long I want to play it. It's nice.
I got the year.
So I'm enjoying it, man. I really am.
I went ahead and got the year, so it was $30. Basically, comes down to $2.50 a month.
Yeah,
no value.
You can't even get a large soda for that price. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting a month after month of EA access. Okay. And I'll point this out. I have Battlefield 4, which I never played before. I skipped that one because I had Call of Duty Ghosts and Titanfall. I have Madden, which I skipped because I was like, I'm not gonna buy Madden.
Well, let me go and fix it for you.
FIFA I didn't buy because I don't like soccer, but I downloaded it.
Headphones for you.
Next gen, mute your mic next gen. Go ahead.
We have the absolute highest production values
this is
of
amazing.
any podcast.
Let me tell you, it is
you'll
so
ever
professional. It is so professional.
We are the most professional podcast.
Next gen is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's running that daycare up in there, man.
I don't know what he's doing, boy.
So 3 of the 4 games I don't have.
Yeah.
So and I never played them. So I'm enjoying the hell out of those. And not only that, but those hit the same day that games come out for Games for Gold, which that strike suit. I won't buy indie games, but I'll download them for quote unquote rental free or whatever. So yeah, so I get hit with 4 or 5 games in like a day span that I haven't played. So boom,
they have to build up that vault.
Default.
Yeah, they will.
And obviously it's
Well, the generation just started, so
But now,
and not only that,
us
it's a
four have
beta.
it.
It's a beta.
Yeah, us four have it. Everybody everybody I've seen is like all of a sudden playing Madden now or Battlefield 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it revitalizes the community for those games. It brings value. Like I did a video on this too. If you're a budget gamer and you want to buy an Xbox One for $400, boom, you get your year's worth of Xbox Live Gold and your EA Vault. You don't even really need to own any games because you're going to get 2 games a month off of Xbox Live, and you're going to get access to the Battlefield Vault right away. You're going to have 6 games plus the free-to-play stuff that you can pay, like your Power Star Golf or what have you. So I think that's incredible value.
No
and
value.
Sony on the other hand, totally pulled a Don Matrick again and said that they don't feel that EA Access gives value to their customers to what they're used to. I mean, can you believe this? And the funny part is, people were actually supporting this, saying, "Yeah, they're right." I mean, I thought that was crazy.
All I can say is,
Hey, yeah, I've been hearing the complaints where they sitting here saying that it's a better deal. You know what I'm saying? Because you giving all your money to one developer, just a whole lot of excuses, which I think is just crazy. It's a good deal. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. So just stop with the damage control.
Showstopper, even if you hate EA,
even
if you hate their games, it's about the choice.
Yeah, it's options.
Yeah, if I want to give EA money, my money, Sony, fine, let me. But Sony doesn't want any competition with that PS.
No.
Yeah,
if they say in the next couple of months you get all the Dead Space games. Those were EA and Visceral, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Say you get all Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3. Give me some other EA games.
Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
And don't they got like Star Wars too? They got
Dragon
Star Wars games.
2,
Yeah, all that little stuff.
So,
all that stuff is EA.
Let's say you get all those in the vault, in addition to your 5-day early access with 10% discount on buying digitally. Obviously, that's a good deal, right? People right now are looking at this. Oh, the 4 games most people already own. Yes, but that's why it's called a beta. If the 4 games the 4 games that are there now are the only 4 games that are ever going to be there, then it doesn't have value. But that's not the case.
Nope.
There's going to be more games out. So just wait and see.
Hey, I didn't have 3 of the 4, so I was like, hell yeah.
Right.
But I had 3 of the 4 neither. So
Right.
But now
I was not.
In 6 months from now, if there's no games,
I ain't have 4 of the 4.
If 6 months or a year from now there's no games in that vault, then obviously it's not going to have that
but
much
also,
value.
look at it like this. Everybody's in here is probably getting Dragon Inquisition.
Yeah, I have
Battlefield Hardline, yes.
We're gonna get it for $54. Get it a week early. So like you save 10% on all the digital games you buy. You get it a week early. So.
Hey, I'll point this out too. You can play the Vault games there. You download the full game, so it's not streaming. You download the full version of the game. You can play it offline. You can actually do the game sharing like you do any other game you own. You can do that with this. So one license or one game is 2 licenses. So if you have yours set as the home console and someone else and you have you trust that person enough or whatever, then you can do the game sharing with them. All this stuff is included with this.
I did tweet EA directly about playing those games offline, and I got a response that yes, you could.
Yeah, I played offline.
You can.
What happened was they were working on the servers and stuff for a few hours, and I was still playing Madden.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
And only thing that I think you need the online for is the multiplayer.
Also, you don't need Xbox Live Gold to play anything but the multiplayer. So you can play Madden offline, you can play Battlefield offline, Peggle 2 offline. You can do all that stuff without Xbox Live Gold. $250 a month if you sign up for the year. That's a damn good value. And okay, people are like, well,
no value.
Yeah,
hey,
Sony,
look, no, it's not behind a paywall.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
So
people are saying, well, Sony's right, because other companies are probably going to want to do this. There's only a couple other companies that could probably do something like this, and it's probably Activision, possibly, and Ubisoft.
Yeah, but you know what? I did it. Crap. You had your little show. One day last week. But I did a video about this, and once EA announces GameStop stopped plummeting, again, do you
Yeah.
know, like, maybe, like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine, like I said, if Konami gets on board with this, 'cause all these companies have a big back catalog of games they're not
Yes,
selling
they
or
do.
anything. You know
It's
what I
just
mean?
sitting there.
They're sitting there. You know what I mean? If Capcom, you get to play all the, if Capcom will put their their back catalog of games in there. You can play for maybe $10 a month, and for a premium subscription, you can even get their newer games. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like this, like I said, the whole DRM thing. Sony kind of fucked that up. That not well, they went against it for whatever reason. Well, not really went against it. They said they wouldn't charge, but still said nothing about third party, and it was left there with Microsoft like they were the fucking bad guy. And Microsoft put this thing in place, like I said, to protect the third party, the publishers.
Yeah.
You see what's going
Yeah.
on with Crytek, they're damn near out the door, you know what I mean? So, but like I said, even Crytek can on board with this, you know what I mean? You have Crisis 1, 2, and 3. They're not selling it at all, you know what I mean? So, nobody's really buying those games anymore. So, why they can, you can get the Crytek
And you know
package. It's
what's
$5 a month.
interesting? You know what's interesting is I remember maybe a year and a half ago, having these arguments about always online and DRM.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now
I know where we're going.
And now the only arguments we're having over which always online DRM based service is better. It's,
Again, we're always online.
Wrong.
Isn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
we're
It's
always
crazy
online.
stuff, man.
I mean,
Hey,
you could,
because
you know,
you could pay to stream a game for up to 90 days to your console, and after that 90 days through DRM, that game is taken off your console. Or you could pay for a year to rent games to your hard drive, downloaded fully, and play them as long as you're a member. And if you are not a member anymore, the game is taken off of your console through DRM.
Well, actually,
Now we're arguing over which DRM-based always online service is better. When a year and a half ago, people were screaming, nobody wanted always online DRM.
Yeah, they didn't want it at all.
Yeah, but I just want to point out something real quick. Say you don't pay, like, say your EA access or whatever runs out for a month, and then you re-up. Whatever games you had downloaded when you re-up, you still can have access to.
Right.
It's the same thing with like PlayStation Plus. If you download games and then your thing lapses, and then you re-up, you still have access to the games you downloaded. So I think that's a cool little thing. But yeah, I expected Sony to maybe damage control a little bit more than they did after they kind of threw EA under the bus, saying this isn't a value. And they didn't really. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna adjust our prices and all this," and their adjusted prices were more expensive.
Well, you know what though? Was it Sony themselves that said that, or was it one of their people that works for them in
it was
Europe
Sony.
or something?
It was Sony's executive or something.
Yeah.
That said it. They said, they basically said, "Hey, this is not a good value for our PlayStation customers," and basically what it comes down to is they didn't want to have competition with PlayStation Now. And for anybody that out there says, "Oh, well, PlayStation Now is just streaming and it's old games," no, Sony has said that they are going to put PS4 games on there down the road as well. So that exactly cuts into their profits. They paid almost $400 million for Gaikai, and they can't afford to. You just got to be real about it. If people want to be real about these things, that's the real thing. That's the real reason. No other reason. They don't care about. None of these companies actually care about us, first of all, but Sony abuses their user base like no other by saying they're for the gamers and all this stuff, right? They're for themselves because they want to make profit. You spend $400 million on a streaming service, you're not going to let some company swoop in and only pay $250 a month to play games. You're not going to do it, especially when you're going to charge people $5 for 4 hours. And I'm not talking 4 hours of in-game time. That's 4 hours once you buy it. That clock starts ticking.
It's a countdown too. It will boot you up out of that bad baby.
There's an argument over you really shouldn't compare them because one's a streaming service and one's a rental service. But at the end of the day, you're still renting a lease.
Who's a streaming service? Because you don't stream anything on the Xbox.
No. The streaming service. There's the two services. PS Plus is a streaming service. EA Access is a rental service. Basically, you're doing the same thing for both. I'm paying somebody to get me a game to play. The difference is I'm streaming it or I'm downloading it directly to my hard drive. That's the difference. Yeah. I think this is still going to happen with Sony. There has to be a flat rate for that service.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, has to be.
I mean, just because it's a streaming service, that doesn't make it okay to say, give me this for 5 minutes, give me this for 4 hours, and give me this for 3 months.
Yeah.
It just
the prices on that is just wow. 4 hours, they need to boot that all together out of the way. A month is better than 4 hours.
It out.
But then you're doing it for each game. I don't. That's not good neither. I mean, give me a collective amount of games like what EA just did for the 5 or whatever.
They're probably going to do both. I mean, they're probably going to do, hey, you pay us $100 a year, and you can.
Hey.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's going to be, if they're renting them for this expensive price, and it's up to developers and publishers to list their price. They can't just say we're going to give it to you for $250 a month. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously going to be. It's obviously going to be, something where they're going to have to get some money for, or they're going to go get the platinum PlayStation Plus package for
what's interesting?
$150 a year.
Everybody out there who feels the need to pick a side and argue, think about this. Think about this. Both of these companies are screwing us by not giving us backwards compatibility.
Real talk, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
because
I agree. That does suck. But guess what?
Old games.
Sony went with that crappy chip and in the PS3, so that's why they can't do it. It's impossible. Microsoft, on the other hand, their software people said, "Hey, we're working our asses off on this." I got a feeling that they probably aren't going to get it up and working until the Xbox 360 is no longer profitable. Oddly enough, because that makes no sense. But as long as the Xbox 360 is selling and people love, like Next Gen said, I'm part of this damn Xbox United Facebook group with like 30,000 members. Those people love that 360, man. They post their pictures with their new 80-inch TVs and their 360s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like they love that fucking 360 and it still sells really well. So until that becomes not profitable anymore, and we haven't even seen a price drop on that yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No. I mean, what happens when they do announce the 4 gig for $99? I mean, is that going to pump out another $5-10 million? I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Sony, that is, like I said, they spend how much? $375 on that guy.
Yeah.
And it's no secret they're hurting for money. It's an ingenious idea the way they do it, but they should have a subscription fee. You shouldn't charge per title. You pay $30 and you don't even get to own the goddamn game. And some of those games, some of the renting costs for those games is cheaper than what you can go buy it inside the store. So
did you see GameStop or GameSpot actually, for once, did a really good piece of journalism where they said, here's the price of a rental on PlayStation Now versus buying it, and they listed the place where you could buy it, and you could buy these games for cheaper than it was to actually rent them. And I think that to me, it's pretty big. I still have my old console.
But you know what, though? I do too, though. But I know what and honestly, though, I think what Sony's doing is a little too early for the PlayStation Now, because this generation hasn't been in even a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've been playing our fucking PS3s for the last 7-8 years. Like, who's really dying to go back and play a PS3 game? You just upgrade, for that reason.
I think the thing that they having most problem with is finding the right pricing for that service.
It's tricky.
The right pricing for that service is what's going to be
they have to give
the downfall or the praise for that service.
This is the thing, though. Was anybody really talking up OnLive or Gaikai before?
No.
I never even heard of Gaikai before. These things failed in the past. I think that.
I just think it's amazing that once again, I don't care what service wins, who loses what. I just find it so funny that we have groups of people now who are arguing over which always online DRM-based service when nobody wanted always online DRM.
Hey, I called that shit a year ago. I called that shit a year ago.
I was amazing.
Yeah, it is funny, but you know what the problem is? People were all for Steam too. The Steam box. Oh, that's awesome, even though that was like
Steam is
they're
great.
like
Yeah.
family share. No, with the Steam box, family
Oh.
share. Even though that's all DRM and shit, but when Microsoft announces family share and stuff, they're the devil. You know what I mean? They're the devil.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I know why they can't do a subscription fee because they have to give Tecmo and all these other companies.
Yeah.
They have to give them a cut.
They probably
wouldn't have
will do one. They'll probably do a certain amount, but I doubt that they're ever going to do an unlimited fee. They're probably going to do different types. Like maybe you can get this amount for this. You know what I'm saying?
I think this could be bad, especially if it's successful. The EA Access thing is successful, and every other third-party developers start getting on board with this.
You think it's bad?
Because could they? No, I'm saying for PlayStation Now, because if they can do it themselves, what they need to put their games on PlayStation Now for?
Can I point out something too that PlayStation Now is not backwards compatibility? I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah, so I mean, if these developers can do it themselves, like Ubisoft, Activision, all of them can get together and do it themselves and have their game streamed, would they make more money doing it that way than putting it on that service?
You know what?
So that's why I say it might be bad for PlayStation Now.
Check that out, even better. Say if they put the stuff in play and go to Microsoft and use Microsoft servers.
They can do that too.
You know what I mean?
What a segue! I have something I want to talk about real quick because Mojang, who does Minecraft, right?
He's like, what a segue.
Mojang does Minecraft, right? They're going to release the Xbox One and PS4 versions later this year, I believe in August. Now, they said somebody brought up to them the question about using the Azure servers for the Xbox One version so that it would be just like the PC version, basically, right? And they said, hey, that's a great idea. And they basically hinted around that it's a great idea, but if they did that, it wouldn't be fair to the PS4 owners because they can't use servers. So we're starting to see this now where these multi-platform games are being gimped a bit with something that Microsoft has. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can use these servers.
Crazy.
Crap, you're trying. Right? Crap is like the little engine that could, man.
He could, yeah, man. He's finding angles, boy. He's
how is this different? Why are developers afraid to use these servers for Xbox One games, but they have no problem tossing out a game at less frames or less resolution on the Xbox One? I just think that's bullshit.
Microsoft's the devil. And now the devil is in bed with EA.
Yeah.
Yeah. EA's evil, right?
Yep.
But of course,
EA is evil.
Of course, if this would have been like, you know what I don't understand is this, right? Sony made the decision for all their gamers that it's a bad value, So I think that, eventually the fans got to take a look at that and say, hey, wait, Sony's making decisions for us. They're telling us what we want. And actually, they're telling you what you want to hear, too. Anybody that's a big Sony fan, go back and watch what they do. They just pander to you guys. You guys are little puppets.
I think the service will end up on PlayStation.
Yeah,
you think so?
It probably will. Yeah, it probably will.
I don't know. I can't.
I mean, it was a bad thing to say because you make it very difficult now for EA and Sony to sort of do that. But I don't see how it's not going to be offered.
It's already been offered. They turned it down.
Yeah, they turned it down.
They offered it to them. They turned it down.
According to IGN, they asked them and they said no. We turned it down. They didn't want it.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, they turned it down.
So
they made the decision. They said it's not a good deal for our customers.
Now this is one thing that I'm going to throw out too, because EA does like money. Could you see this coming to 360?
Well,
I hope not, because the 360. Listen, this is a horrible thing to say, but the 360 at some point has got to end.
It's 9 years old. People talk about the PS2 as being so successful, right? And it did sell a lot, right? But at 9 years, it was just getting a few games here or there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't getting anything big. It wasn't selling as well as the 360 still continues to sell.
But it had that
9 years.
It's got that. The thing with the PS2 and the 360 and those consoles are the back catalog is so huge. That even buying back in the day when you bought a PS2, even at 9 years old, you had thousands of games to play.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with the 360 now. There's a back catalog. Even the PS3, the back catalogs are so huge now compared to what you can play on the PS4 and Xbox One. At some point, somebody's got to put a fork in it. It's done.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what though? Not to come it off. Honestly, I don't think Sega shit, Sony or either Microsoft really wanted it in because being that those consoles still selling, they're setting up the off cost of these next generation consoles.
Yeah.
So that there's they not saying they do want their next generation consoles to be successful, but they're making money. Off these sales. For their gaming division. So
Hey, you know what? If you want a console with AAA titles, Sony's got a console for you called the PS3. If you want a console, that's that you can play offline, Microsoft has got one for you.
The 360.
Yeah, so both these companies have these old consoles. I think Sony's a little bit more in a hurry to scurry off from the PS3 because that thing was such a debacle. You know what I mean? Like, it had some good games, I'm not going to lie, but shit, that thing was like the most troublesome console I've ever owned in my life. You know what I mean? With the constant updates and everything, you know what I mean? It's like...
oh, man, I can see it now, crap.
Download and then install. That was the worst part for me. Like, okay, you download it, and then you have to install it. Whatever you do. It's like...
A showstopper. I can see it now. Crap Gamer said it was the most troubled console ever. I can see the people screaming. Oh, what about the Red Ring of Death?
Red Ring of Death. Yeah, man. Wow.
Hey, well, the Red Ring of Death did cost Microsoft a little bit, but
$1 billion.
Yeah, I feel like had they not had that, the Xbox 360 might be the most successful console of all time. I feel like
the Red Ring of Death. Red Ring of Death. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I truly think that, what are they, like 85 million? I think a lot of people held off on getting one due to the fact of being worried about that. And I'll be honest, man, I had my PS3, my original fat PS3, had way more problems than any of my 360s, man. 3 yellow lighted deaths on that thing where those things just fucking got too hot and collapsed on itself or whatever. So
was that the one that was backwards compatible?
Yeah, I had a backwards compatible one, yeah. And what was cool about that was that console was almost worth the money. Well, because it upscaled everything, all the PS2 games and PS1 games.
Yeah.
It got rid of all the jaggies and shit. So, like, the first 2 years I had that thing, I was playing PS2 games on it because there were no PS3 games. Imagine that. And I was having fun with it. I was playing my 360 a lot too. I was like, into Saints Row and all that stuff, Perfect Dark, and I would say that looking back the first 8 months of both consoles, like the 360 and Xbox One, I might be. It's hard to say which one I was more happier with in the first 8 months. Maybe the 360. There's a lot of stuff obviously that I like about the Xbox One. It's getting a lot of updates and stuff, and that's cool. But I think as far as game-wise, I think I was a little bit happier with the 360 in the first 8 months. Because I think I owned maybe a little bit more games.
As soon as Gears dropped, that was that was sort of like the next gen moment when Gears of War the first one came out.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember that commercial. Remember the commercial with the Mad World commercial?
Yeah, and they actually had that song in there. Like if you play on one of the in Gears 3, if you play on that one map, you get the Mad World song. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to talk about, Chinese, Microsoft. Chinese is getting the Xbox One September 23rd in China. It's going to launch. There's going to be one for $599, which is kind of expensive, but they're doing a deal through their communication things where you sign a contract and it's much, much less expensive.
You know what I found funny about that whole thing about the price? Hoof clickers went all out on board. Like, that's too expensive. They in sweatshops working for $2. And then they sent launch a console $1,500 in Brazil.
I think it's $1,800. Yeah.
Whatever it was some ridiculous amount of price. I'm like, man, get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, I get a lot of Brazilian people that watch my channel and they send me messages on Xbox Live. They're like, "We're Team Xbox over here in Brazil," and I'm like, "Damn right, man. You guys got. Otherwise, you'd be like paying $2,000 for a PS4, no doubt." But anyway, okay. So this is what it includes. They have a couple different versions here. All right, it's going to launch. And it's going to come with already on there Power Star Golf and Neverwinter Online, which is like that MMO game.
Yes.
Yeah, and you get free Xbox Live Gold through March of 2015. So they're getting free Xbox Live Gold, Power Star Golf, Neverwinter Online. That's the $600 bundle. Now, if you bump that up 100, you get Connect Sports Rivals, Forza Motorsport 5 Racing Game of the Year, Neverwinter Online, Power Star Golf. You get in-game credit with that as well.
Why are we using dollars? We're talking about China, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's $600 US we're talking about.
Yeah, $600 US.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but what's the cost in China? I mean, like $600 here seems like a lot, but what does it translate to in China?
What the hell is their currency, man?
I don't know the yin and the yang.
RMB, dude. It's
but I mean, why are people even arguing over currency models when they're in a different country?
I have no idea, but hold on, check out this deal though. For the $700 Day 1 edition, it comes with, like I said, Connect Sports Rival, Forza 5, Power Star Golf, Neverwinter Online. You're also going to get 2 free movies per month, sports programming for free. All this other stuff like a music thing, karaoke thing.
No value.
Hey.
Yeah. Nope. So it's doing all this. Plus they're doing the.
There's also an option for $2.79 a minute. You can stream the Xbox One to your home.
Yeah. But anyway, so so like I'm saying, I'm pointing out that they're going to have a subsidized version of this, so you're not going to have to pay that out of pocket. Like how they did with the 360.
Aren't they partnered up with the cable provider?
They're partnered up with a couple different people, Best TV and also that other that broadband provider. And
you know what's interesting? Everything that they wanted to do here at launch, they're doing there.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to be always.
I still think they're going to do a subsidized version here.
Yeah, they were supposed to be with Comcast.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard something different, and that still might happen. I heard that possibly with AT&T because they used to have this thing where I don't know if you guys have that up here, but they have that Uverse stuff, and you used to get a free Xbox 360 if you signed up for it, like a 2-year contract. They'd give you a free Xbox 360 if you signed up for Uverse. So yeah, I think that's interesting. But I mean, what do you guys think about this? I mean, it's coming with a free MMO, a free golf game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first console. It's the first console to launch in China in a long time.
Yeah, in 14 years.
Yeah, so obviously people are going to be excited that want to play console games.
And what about this Mercury game that's supposed to be an exclusive there too?
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks good. Yeah.
Of course, they get like they say that they're going to do the Halo collection in China as well. It's going to launch with Forza 5 over there. These are the games that you're going to be able to buy. Connect Sports Rivals, Power Star Golf, Zoo Tycoon, Max the Curse of Brotherhood, Forza 5. They say they hope to bring over Sunset Overdrive and the Halo Master Chief collection.
Damn, do you have a list out there? Or are these coming off the top of your head?
No, these dude, I produced this show, man. Like, I got all this shit.
I got it written
wait,
down.
you just reminded me. Last week in I don't read the comments a lot, but somebody made a comment. I started to laugh, and I actually responded to it and said I would ask you. The comment was, to Crap Gamer, would you sell a family member for a job at Microsoft?
Would I? If it was my older brother, I would. Me and him don't get along too well, so yeah.
Oh my god.
I'd be like, hey, take my buck-toothed older brother, man. So yeah, also, I don't know if you guys played this game or if you guys had the original Kinect, but Fruit Ninja Connect on the original Xbox 360 was pretty good. It was one of the more well-received Xbox Kinect games. Well, Fruit Ninja Connect 2 was leaked actually at a retailer that is coming out, so I think that's kind of interesting because a lot of people are saying, oh, they're not going to do any more Kinect games, but we do know that Dance Central, Fantasia Music, Fruit Ninja Connect,
Ninja Turtle game.
T4, yeah, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game came out on the 360 for free. I downloaded it.
Yeah.
I'm a cheap bastard. Hey guys, I'm a PlayStation fan. I downloaded.
When does the PlayStation launch in China?
There's
September 13th, 29th, or something like that.
no, the PlayStation has no date.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, September 23rd for the Xbox One. PlayStation has no announced date announced or no release date announced yet. So yeah, so I think that's interesting because the subsidized version is going to be possibly the better value over there. So I think that's going to be interested to see what the numbers are when they release. I think that's going to be pretty cool. To look out for, because Microsoft is going to have a lot of Xbox Ones launching in September, so you got to keep on the lookout for that. A little bit more Last of Us stuff that I wanted to talk about. Apparently, Naughty Dog said they only started working on the remastered in February of this year. Do you guys find that interesting at all? I mean,
they started working on what?
They only started working or talking about The Last of Us Remastered for PS4 in February of this year. So it wasn't like long time in advance, like let's start working on this right away. They kind of said in February, hey, we should do this, probably because they had a lackluster lineup.
You know what I don't get is I would have there's a lot of rumors about Beyond coming out, Two Souls, The Last of Us just came out.
Well, they want to get those Wii owners. That's what that is. They've already said that.
Well, wait. There's Journey. There's Journey might come out. All of these games would have done much better, in my opinion, on a PS Plus service to make it attractive. So why release these as single games for $30 to $50 when you could just have them on your Plus service?
Can I answer this as it'll probably be looked at as a bad thing. I can tell you right now.
Let me guess how you're going to answer. Go ahead.
Because if you do it as PlayStation Plus, it doesn't make you look like you have a catalog of games. If you do it individually, people are like, oh, wow, I can get Journey and Beyond Two Souls and Uncharted. And you know what I mean? So this is what you got to do. Like the media covers for Sony a lot with this too, where they try like hell to make it seem like Sony's got this impressive lineup of games, like this big library. And if you look at it, and people will be like, look at the Metacritic scores on that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You mean they do have a back library of games, a lot of them.
Yeah, no. They're trying to make it seem like the PS4 has a big library of games.
Oh, okay.
No.
By porting over this stuff, because an individual game, okay, so you're going to put The Last of Us, which was a good last-gen game on there, or Journey, which, a lot of people gave it a Game of the Year award.
It was a great game, yeah.
I didn't, and, it's not my cup of tea, but whatever. So they're going to, and these are games that score well, and it makes it look like the PS4 has all these great games when they're all just great games from the last generation. You know what I mean? And they can sit there and go, hey, well, we got this Last of Us game. They got 200 perfect scores or whatever, Game of the Year awards, and 200 perfect scores, and we're also going to double that because we're going to re-release it. So now it's going to have 400 perfect scores. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on. Those games aren't really compelling reasons to buy the console. But then again, when you got people that are buying the console, you don't really have much of a reason to push anything out the door, Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, like if I'm Sony, I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, look at these suckers, they're buying our console. We don't even got to put out games, We just talk about P's. They'll buy more multi-platform games on our console. Even if they're the same P's, they're still going to buy more on our console. So, I mean, we'll just say we got some exclusive content, and boom, bada bing, good to go.
Yeah, I think I always try and look at things weird. People are complaining about, like for instance, if EA does this now with their Access program, right? What about other developers doing it, right? By putting their games on a service. But then nobody is arguing about if you keep releasing, if you keep being okay with one remake after another, at what point does it become not okay for that developer to keep doing that? Rather than pushing out new games. So if EA does it, and then their Access program just for their games, and then, oh my God, what if Ubisoft does it? And then, oh my God, what if Activision does it, right? That's bad. But then what if these companies just continue to give us remakes from games we played last gen over and over and over again? That's equally as bad. So you have to call them on that.
Look, I'm just going to be honest. You know what's coming out this month on the new consoles? There's 3 games. Diablo 3, which is a remake. The Metro Collection, which is remakes, and Madden. Madden 15. That's it.
Yeah.
So if it takes remakes to fill in some of the months, I guess so be it. I mean, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, I mean, seriously, it's kind of dry, and part of that is because the old consoles were so successful. But you know, I definitely want to see new stuff. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I would like to see. I mean,
Yeah.
remakes are fine, but at some point it has to be just like, you know, if you're going to say, I don't want all these developers to jump on what EA's doing and make us pay for their back catalogs because that's them being greedy or that's them being lazy and not making new games. That's valid. That's a valid argument.
I mean,
At some point, you have to. Where's the point where all these remakes is too much? When does it become too much?
Yeah.
It's too much now. It's too much now, honestly.
If Microsoft come out and said, "Hey, we're gonna do some remakes because we're gonna try to get those Wii gamers and them PS3 gamers that didn't buy Xbox 360s to buy an Xbox One, so we're gonna be doing some remakes." If they come out and said some shit like that, how much media would be over that?
But
and how many people
you know
would
what,
be
crap?
over that?
Honestly, though, just think about this. I look at it like this, keeping it simple. You know, a lot of Sony fans. I'm just being calling spades, but they tend to damage controllers. Because Sony doesn't have many exclusives that we know about up the pipeline. So, but we bought a next generation console to experience next generation games. You understand that? So, me personally, I know a lot of people feel like I had no incentive to play. Like, listen, if I already had beat or played The Last of Us, there's no way in hell I would have bought it. And I feel bad for even buying into the hype because the game doesn't really look that much better than the PS3 counterpart. So, you know what I mean? So, I think it's fucked up. You know what I mean? That they do, instead of taking that little money and double dipping and making the same shit all over again, give us something new. You know what I mean? You know, I don't agree with that at all. You know?
Yeah, I mean remakes are fine. It's just at some point there has to be a limit at some point. Like we can't
but,
just have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, it's already been rumored that Sony's going to do, you know, God of War, Beyond Two Souls, Gran Turismo, Journey,
Uncharted.
I didn't hear about Uncharted, but yeah.
Yeah, well, this is what they said. That would be a great candidate for a remaster.
You know.
But you know what? You know what though? It would be. But here's the problem though. If you have so many before that comes out, it sort of diminishes the value of it. You know, a remaster, a remake, or a remaster is supposed to be special. It's supposed to be like a special game. You know, from the past. And how many are you going to do before? I mean, for both consoles, like Halo's coming out. But I mean, at some point, if you're going to be upset about EA doing this, and what if other publishers do it, and we're going to stop these publishers from doing this by not supporting it? Well, Sony's a publisher, Microsoft's a publisher. How many old games are you willing to accept from both companies before you say enough? Start spending money on giving me what
judging
I want.
by how many people were doing PS4 shares of The Last of Us on my timeline, I guess they're going to keep on going because people say they're outraged, just like they say they won't buy Call of Duty anymore, and then every year that fucking game sells 25 million. So, you know, I mean, look, let's be honest here. We all were like, you know, and I would never buy the game, but, you know, Next Gen bought The Last of Us. You bought The Last of Us. A lot of people I know that have both Xbox Ones and PS4s bought them because there's no other games. It's dry as hell. So people bought this thing. I
bought it because I never played it.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not really knocking it. I'm just saying a lot of people bought this game. It's going to be very successful. I wouldn't be surprised to see it sell, you know, 1 million easy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they actually announced last week that it's already sold more than the PS3 version.
Do you know what? A lot of people were bought the Last of Us because they thought it was going to look a lot better than the PlayStation 3 version.
Right. It does look better, but it's not
that much bigger.
Oh, well, the reason why they didn't show any gameplay was because they didn't want Digital Foundry to do the comparisons beforehand. That's why.
Digital Foundry's starting to rip it apart now. So.
Yeah, well, they are, but they're kind of like damage controlling it at the same time. You know, they're like, well, you know, this is the okay. At what point do you guys? I mean, like, if I were to say which Xbox One game has been the best for you guys, I mean, we're going to give various answers. Overall, I would say there's a good mixture of experiences. But when people are saying a remake of a PS3 game is the best PS4 game, is that not a problem to you guys?
Yeah. That's a smack in the face for their exclusives that they had on their platform.
And a lot of
like I'm talking like Infamous, all that little stuff that they had out.
And a lot of people
Infamous was the best game when they launched that. That's just hype talk. When Infamous was launched, it was the best game since sliced bread. Then after a week of that crap, you know what I'm saying, you ain't hear nothing.
Yeah, it's like $25 used at GameStop.
Yeah, and you don't hear nothing about it. So now it's The Last of Us. Yeah. And it'd be another week or so, and then you ain't gonna hear nothing about it.
I mean, The Last of Us. It's my opinion. I think it was a great game. I really do. But again, it was on the PlayStation 3, and I played it on the PlayStation 3. I think it was one of the PlayStation 3's best games. It didn't matter at the time that it was in 720p. When I played it, I still loved it. So did millions of other people. So having it in 1080p now really isn't this great reason to buy it again, other than the fact that you might love the game one in your collection. But here's the thing. Halo 4 was a great game, right?
Yeah.
But Halo 4 remastered is not a reason to own an Xbox One, and I would never tell anybody that, and you guys wouldn't either.
No.
Because it was a game that you could play right now for $20.
The games that I tell people to buy if they really want to buy an Xbox One for, I mean, there's numerous ones, but I'm like, hey, Sunset Overdrive to me is going to be that first big, like, really wow game, like that experience. But aside from that, just getting back to this other point is a lot of people ask me why I don't buy a PS4, right? And I'm pretty honest about it.
Man,
I'm like,
did you find any treasure down there in the bottom of the ocean?
Too much showstopper, right?
Yeah. I just moved my, adjusted my head.
You sound like you're diving looking for treasure.
So I'm just honest with you. What game out there would somebody try to sell me a PS4 for? Right? Keep in mind that I didn't finish Infamous 1 or 2. I didn't really like those. Killzone 1 and 2 and 3 I hated. I mean, I thought they were terrible. NAC has no appeal to me. I don't care about free-to-play or indies. And then you look at Little Big Planet 3. Surprisingly, it's getting a PS3 release. So, so you're and baseball, right?
Wait, NAC's coming out on the PS3?
Yes, Little Big Planet 3 is coming out on the PS3 as well.
Not NAC, Little Big Planet.
I said NAC.
Little Big Planet 3, not NAC.
I don't really care for Little Big Planet, but oh wow.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, okay, like what? This is the funny thing, right? And I got blocked from this guy named Michael Futter. He's a writer at. He's a writer for
somebody blocked you? No way.
He blocked me on Twitter, right?
And his name is Futter?
Yeah, Futter. His name is Michael Futter. He goes by the Twitter handle Futterish. He was going off when Microsoft announced it. Forza Horizon 2 was going to be released on the 360 as well, even though it was different developers, different engine, and everything. And I was just talking to the guy. I never said anything bad or anything. I was like, well, you realized that Major League Baseball, the show, released for both the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 as well. And he's like, he didn't really respond. So now we find out that Little Big Planet 3 as well is launching on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, but not a word from anybody about these things. You know what I'm saying? What's the point?
You're like Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory.
Well, it's the truth, though. It's the truth, though.
What is the point? Where is my incentive to get one at any point in time? Where is these games?
I think it's like everything else. Some people find a game. Some people will like Killzone and they'll buy it for Killzone. Some people like Infamous, they'll buy it for Infamous.
Yeah, the 100 people left on Killzone's multiplayer, man. You know what I mean?
But as far as using old games and remaking them and saying that that's the reason now to own a next gen console, I would never say hey, Halo collection is the reason to own an Xbox One. No. Last of Us is the reason to own a PS4. No, it's just not. There's no.
You know what? I could play The Last of Us right now on my PS3. So
yeah.
I could play. Hey, if I wanted to play Major League Baseball, the show, the newest one, I could play that on my PS3. If I want to play Little Big Planet 3, guess what? PS3.
Oh, well.
I'm just saying. Hey, if I wanted to play Unfinished Swan or Journey, do I need a PS4 for? Nope. PS3.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing that Amazon Fire TV is getting the app to stream AAA games.
Which AAA games?
I guess
Amazon's games.
Well, no. I guess the third-party multiplexes that are out now. Maybe they making their own service like on live or something. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, on live sucked. I'm just gonna be flat. I tried using that shit. It was terrible.
I just love that people now. I swear, I love it. I love it. We are
Hey,
arguing.
hey, Warrior
on Twitter.
Which
Wait.
DRM service? Which DRM service are you
Right.
thinking is going to do better?
It's crazy. Right? the kiddies don't want to be online and they don't want to have DRM, but now they want to argue over which always online DRM based service is better.
Yeah.
I mean, the future's dragging us all in, kicking and screaming.
Hey, and you know where do they go to complain about DRM, guys?
Yeah, on a DRM based
on the internet. Yeah. Hey, let's complain about DRM on the internet. Think about that. I mean, that's the stupidity of some of these people. I'm just being honest. That's really the stupidity. So, hey, we should get some people to start asking some questions.
Guys, if you have questions, ask us questions. If you have questions, get them ready. Bang bang.
Yeah, start racking up those questions, bitches.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They already got some in there, I believe.
Wait, read them. We got some. Let's
here we go. Somebody says, Crab Gamer, should we trust 343 when they say Halo looks better than the Order?
No.
Because the last Uncharted looked better than Halo 4. Damn, dog, laughing my ass off.
What he said, wait, he said the Order,
he asked you a question and then he answered it with fanboyism.
Yeah, well, his name is Xbox. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like.
Yeah.
Well, the first part.
That whole comment was full of clickery.
Yeah.
The first part of the question is no, you shouldn't trust 343 Industries if they said that Halo looks better than the Order. If they said it, because we don't know that they said it.
Yeah, we don't know that they said it.
The same way that you should not trust Ready at Dawn when they tell you that the Order can only be done on the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use logic.
Or hey, should we trust Naughty Dog if they come out and say something negative about DirectX 12? No, probably not.
Well,
I mean, come on,
fellas. And again, I'm gonna use the level head here. Again, like I said, the Xbox One is a very capable system, and the games that we're seeing thus far on the Xbox One is only running on single core. Now, take Halo 5, it's going to have a big budget, a lot of man hours, so they're going to get it. They're going to really push the games. They're going to push the game to a balls to the wall. You know what I mean? So you're going to see tower resources, DirectX 12, the cloud in some type of way. So, and plus, like I said, it comes out after the Order. You know what I mean? So it's not really that far off. I'm just being real.
It's stupid to compare the graphics for an arena shooter and a corridor game that is almost like on rails. I think it's ridiculous.
It's stupid to compare graphics. Period.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So you misunderstand us if you think we're agreeing that it's going to look better. Who the hell knows and who the hell cares? I'm sure it's going to look great, and I'm sure that the PS4 fans are the ones that are going to be. They're going to think that the Order looks great. I think that's going to be your own personal rise, where it's going to look great, but possibly going to let you down in the gameplay department. But that remains to be seen. So
yeah,
we'll see how that racks up.
Looks like it's going to be a fun game, though. All in all,
yeah,
it looks like it's going to be.
I mean, if you like corridors and QT, man.
No, I mean, from what I'm seeing. When I seen some gameplay of it, looked like it's gonna be a fun game. It really does. It looked like it's gonna be a fun game.
Next.
The new WP says, do you guys feel the Xbox One controller is better for fighting games as opposed to the 360?
No.
Yeah, of course. It's got the better D-pad.
You like that D-pad?
The D-pad on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real D-pad compared to the 360s, which was terrible.
I don't like the D-pad. I don't know why. It just feels weird. It feels like a piece of tin.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome, man. I use it.
I got used to it.
Did you get used to it? Yeah.
I got used to it.
I don't use it that much. I use it a lot to navigate the menu for some reason. I don't use the stick to navigate in the menus. I use the D-pad.
Yeah.
I think the D-pad.
My mic came out. What are you guys talking about? I'm sorry.
The D-pad on
Xbox One.
Somebody
I use them both. For what games? Or what games?
Just in general, do you like
I use them. I use them. Well, it depends what game you're playing, first of all. So.
Well, no, he's saying, do you think it's better? Which one is better, the 360 or the Xbox One D-pad for fighting games?
The 360. I mean, the Xbox One D-pad is better than the 360.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. As you know.
That's why they changed it later on the 360.
I did at first, like I said, I thought like the 360 was the best controller ever created, but I like the Xbox One controller. I do a lot. It's
The
growing on me.
D-pad to me, it feels stiff.
Yeah.
Like I can't roll my thumb like when you play on a 360. How you was able to go like from the down up. You know, it just feels stiff doing it that way.
The
It's
Xbox
better
One
with
feels
the
stiff?
yeah, the Xbox One feels stiff. 360, you was able to flow with your fighters.
But also
that-
too though,
like that.
Showstopper, you move to the projects, you now have roaches, so you probably got a bunch of dead roaches in your Xbox One controller. Motherfucker.
Yeah. Look, he got butt hurt. It's stiff.
I like it, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
don't care what you say. It's stiff.
I like it, you know what I mean? I like it, you know. I like the click. I like when, you push it in the right direction, it clicks. So,
Yeah.
and I like the analog sticks. I like the control all around it better. I like the hard rubber around the
You like? Oh, okay.
the hard rubber.
Next question.
What?
Next
Yeah,
question.
we gotta move on.
Next
Okay,
Better control.
Anonymous, somebody says, do you think Lionhead will show their new game at Gamescom?
What's their new game? It's Fable, right?
Eden Falls.
No.
Their name is Eden Falls.
Eden Falls.
It's a possibility.
I don't know.
Maybe.
When does the game come out? When does the game come out?
We don't know. It's just heavily rumored.
I hope
they-
I hope Milo's in it.
Microsoft
Oh, shit.
Microsoft got the domain and everything for Eden Falls, and they bought that out and everything. So supposedly that's their like futuristic RPG or whatever.
I hope Peter
Um,
Molyneux doesn't hype this game.
Peter Molyneux doesn't work for Microsoft
He doesn't
anymore.
work anymore.
He's not a Lionhead anymore.
No,
No.
he's gone.
He's been gone since before
man, I gotta
Fable 3 came out.
Connect. Yeah,
Yeah,
since
yeah,
that
he's been
Fable
gone for a
Connect
minute.
game.
He's been
Yeah,
they fired his ass and made his own studio. Microsoft bought Lionhead and
Lionhead, yeah.
they stuck the shiv in his back. He was out of there.
I'm gonna call him Lionel. I'm gonna call him Lionel Head though from now on.
Okay. Kid, we got a question here from Kids Move. Did we get to him? Is
Go
Destiny open hype? And will any of you guys buy it day one?
I already have it pre-ordered.
Yeah, I do too.
We
Yeah,
all
I got
have
it
it day
pre-ordered,
one. Is it a hype? Yes, it's hype. And the reason why
It's hype.
because this is Bungie's first game on the PlayStation 4. Had this been an Xbox One exclusive, it wouldn't be getting as much buzz around the internet as it is. You know.
No.
Now
And
here's
I think the downfall of that was comparing it to Halo.
yeah,
You
but
know,
also
trying to say
too,
it's the Halo killer, and it's
no,
not.
it's not. It's not the
that.
Halo
It's
killer.
not that
Here's the
at all.
question here. Now I bet my bottom dollar that Halo 5 will destroy Destiny. You're hearing it here first.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I think
It's
it's
gonna be an overall better game.
Yeah, I
Oh
think.
well, yeah, they're way different games though too.
I think just from the online aspect, because Destiny's online was straight shit. God, like the
That multiplayer was trash.
It was. It was like the
Ah,
most
man.
overpowered guns and vehicles that shoot and shit. I was like, wow, man. I was like, get me out of here, you know. Let me get back
Yeah,
to
I got
the
out of there
let me
quick.
get back to the MMO, quote unquote, where it's only you and two other people.
Oh
But
shit!
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
It was
that.
like every turn you got popped, by something. It was just weird.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
that was a
weird multiplayer.
We got
we
another
have a good question.
Wait, hold on. Let me read this one. It's an easy question. Nist, I hope I pronounced your name right. Nist, 621. Do you guys think Sunset Overdrive will be coming to the PlayStation 4? No.
No.
The second
Yeah,
one or the
in my
first?
Yoshida
Yeah.
voice, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know why anybody would want it on the PlayStation 4. Apparently, it's a shitty game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's only
No.
900p.
It's not gonna go. This is the thing, right? And I mentioned somebody made this comment on the Bang Bang. They took a 2 and put it over the Titanfall thing and put it on a PS4. They're like, and I was like, you guys, it's sad that there's gamers out there that are so lacking in games that they've dedicated to not buying a system that has the games, but instead will wait 2, 3, 4 years, maybe longer,
To get a sequel.
possibly, you don't even know for sure, but to maybe get a sequel down the line. I mean, that to me is boneheaded and retarded. You know,
To be honest, how I feel about the whole thing is really no need right now to own both. It's just not. I mean, they so on par, and the games are so similar across the board. If, like, for instance, with the order's coming out, I'm pretty sure, you're gonna get something similar like that on the Xbox One. So it's just kind of offsetting each other. It's weird. I just don't see a need right now.
Well, again, I'm an Xbox dude, and the reason why I chose the Xbox One is because the features in their games and Xbox Live that I can't get on the PlayStation 4. I'm not a big, I don't like those indies that Sony has. I'm not big into those indies things. I'm not. But you play what you like at the end of the day. Listen, I got another good one from the same guy. I'm sorry. He says here that I'm sorry. This is Marion Duran. He says since the PlayStation 4 is having 8 gigabytes of GDDR5, it's a big deal. Why didn't they go with 16 gigs of DDR3? He's saying since the PS4 has 8 gigabytes of GDDR5, is a big deal. Right. I guess you're saying why did Microsoft go with 16 gigs of DDR3?
Well, because originally it was supposed to have 4 gigs of GDDR5.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Microsoft thought 8 gigs with the lesser help me out.
With the ESRAM.
Yeah, 8 gigs of the 3 RAM would have been fine.
Well, even better.
Well, here's what you got to remember, though. People keep harping on this 8 number. None of these consoles, both of these consoles, Xbox One and PS4, they don't have 8 gigs of RAM dedicated to games.
No.
They don't.
No.
They have at best 4.5 to 5 gigs dedicated to game developers to make games. The rest of that goes towards the operating system.
Yeah. And also, too, the reason why Microsoft didn't go with GDDR5 because with that you can't do the multitasking that you have on.
Yeah, I'm sure that Microsoft didn't think that resolution and shit would be a big issue. To be honest with you.
But even that, but I'm just saying the things that you can do with the OS with the GDDR3, you can't do that stuff. Like the PS4 would never be able to do the stuff.
They'll never be able to snap or anything. Yeah,
it's not. That's not man. That RAM right there is great for your GPU. But it's not good for your CPU, you know what I mean? But like I said, Microsoft had their vision of, what they wanted, the multitasking in and out, being able to spend, I like the fact that I can watch Netflix, leave a game, and go right back to the game that I was in, all the different little things we can do on the Xbox One, you know what I mean? I like that, But also, too, it's not so much the RAM because, to be honestly, going by what Dice said, that you can't really right now on these consoles you can't use more than about 6 gigs of RAM. Just saying because it'll start to pull back,
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, eventually they're gonna find ways to take a little bit away from the OS and put it.
Well, what Microsoft does that was called Hypervision. They can hypervisor. I'm sorry. They can borrow. I think it's either 5 or 6, whatever. That's dedicated 5.5. That's dedicated to games. They think they can go up to like 6.5 if something's not using it, if a game needs to be, Right now we don't got a game using more than 3 gigs of RAM. I'm just,
so. We're not going to see.
And the funny thing is, when they first come out with new consoles, developers aren't really 100% sure how to use them. That's why they use more RAM than actually they will later on down the line. They're going to learn how to optimize and do these things and how to work these consoles.
Do more or less.
Because they're right now they got all this RAM, and you could argue maybe that they were even better off if they would have gone with a smaller number. I would have never thought they would have went above 6 in these new consoles, but they did. So, it's I guess hindsight. Here we go. We have one. What are your thoughts on GameSpot firing the people who gave The Last of Us an 8 out of 10?
I would
already covered that. But.
I don't know if they. I mean, I don't know. Did they fire them over that? I don't.
Well, they're not. They can't say they did.
Well,
why would they fire a game reviewer for giving
here's the thing, though.
Game?
Well, they laid a lot of people off. Honestly, it's because of you guys would add the blockers. And when you go to those sites, it's have those GameSpot, Game Informer, N4G, and all these gaming sites that we love to go to. That's how they make their money, just through the ads. And when you guys put ad blocker on, it stops them from getting revenue.
Well, there was literally thousands and thousands of comments on this review. I believe they might even still be up. But just think, you guys remember how we were talking about the Toys R Us top hot things or whatever for Christmas, and how they had to take down the Xbox One thing because they put that in there, not the PS4, and how people reacted in the comments with those kind of slurs and stuff. That's what was going on with this lady in the comment section. People were threatening her, calling her all kinds of names. It was just some of the worst stuff I ever seen. And then 2 days later, she gets laid off. I mean, come on.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I mean, that just seems. I don't know.
Well, think of it this way, Warrior Wart. Look, the internet. Well, I mean, even you would say this. Who has the bigger backing on the internet right now, as far as fans go? Who has the biggest backing?
Oh my God! You got
Tony.
It's Sony. Like NeoGAF, N4G, these are all Sony dominated. The GameSpots, IGN's, all Sony dominated. That's where they get their revenue from. That's why you see so much clickbait, because the Sony fans will go in droves to these things. All right, if you look at the most amount of comments IGN got and the most hits was on a video called Xbox One, Destiny, 1080p footage, first ever shown. Thousands and thousands of comments in there. People there like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? It's, because there's this rumor going around that Xbox One doesn't play 1080p games, despite the fact that like 90% are that resolution. So people think it's a big deal. It's not, but that's what gets people to look at their sites. This lady didn't pander to the crowd, and we know because we've seen people come out and say, hey, I worked for IGN, I work for this, and yeah, we used to get paid for reviews, or we used to have to do some, you know what I'm saying? Why would you not pander to the crowd that's going to give you hits? I mean, obviously, it could be a coincidence, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't believe that it was a coincidence.
Oh, well, shit. All right. Well, we got some more. We got a lot of good questions today. From Omizio. No, I always fuck your name up. You know what I'm talking about. Important question. What do you guys think about Nintendo not attending Gamescom press conference, but instead they will be hosting another Smash for this tournament? Way I feel, Nintendo doesn't have much to show. And they can't do that control thing like they did over at E3. Nintendo, they didn't show what they had. They don't really have much third-party support. And they don't really have anything else to show, and that's the reason why they're not going. It is what it is. I'm not knocking those who like Nintendo. Kudos, but they loaded E3, and they're not going to be at the Tokyo Game Show either. So it is what it is.
I just think that Nintendo isn't going to be big at any of these events. They could have 1 million games, and I don't think they would go. I don't think that's what Nintendo's about nowadays. Oh, damn, we do got a really good question here that I laughed at a little bit when I read it. Could we see The Last Guardian at Gamescom?
Every time somebody brings that up, I know we're not going to see it, but I hope we do because I really like that studio.
That game's gone.
I liked Ico or Ico, however you say it, and I like Shadow of the Colossus a lot. So
yeah.
But I do believe that game's gone.
Yeah, I mean it's done. They should. Sony just doesn't like the negative press. They just would rather not talk about it than say, hey, yeah, it's it is what it is. But yeah, we're not gonna. That's not gonna be there for sure. 100% guaranteed. Rack that up.
We got another one from the new WP Zaire. How much better is the PSN service compared to the PlayStation 3? It's a lot better. I'm gonna be honest. Most important, you got party chat. Yeah. A lot of things that PlayStation 3 owners wanted. Party chat and stuff. They don't use it as much, but you have party chat, and it feels a little better, a little smoother than it did with on the PlayStation 3. It's not as good as Xbox Live. I'm come on and say that right now, but it is better than what was on the PlayStation 3.
The only thing I noticed is the audio quality in the party chat needs to come up a bit.
They can't because it's using Bluetooth 2.1.
Yeah, they're using old school shit, dude. It's like
it's not going to get any better. I'm not just saying that they hate you. They're using Bluetooth 2.1. It can't get any better. Even like I said, even the Wii U uses Bluetooth 4.0. That's to tell you something. Like here it is. Sony gave you this powerful GPU, and they cut corners and everything else. It's the truth.
Black Chicks Rule says, what does Microsoft have to do at Gamescom to beat Sony, and what surprises do they have?
Well, if to beat Sony at Gamescom, they would have to raise dead people from the grave.
If they could get maybe Elvis and Tupac to do
Picture me rolling in my 500 bins, bitch. Well, you know what? I think Microsoft got to do is just come out there, don't worry about the crowd. Come out there and show us games that we didn't see at E3.
No, look, check this out, though. E3 taught us all a lesson, guys. We all knew who clearly won E3, and the media wouldn't allow that shit.
But no, I'm just saying, though. I think things have been on the upswing for Microsoft as of late. Just being honest, it's not as bad as they were. But if they could come out there and give us maybe 2 or 3 brand new exclusives that we didn't think about, that we didn't know about, I think that will go over well with the crowd. And if what's that shit? Quantum Break steals the show. You know what I mean? They come out, it's amazing.
Like holding that back might turn out to be the dark horse because we didn't see anything from it. And
what game is that?
Quantum Break.
And look, what if we see something from Gears? Like that would be huge.
I don't know. I think Gears is next year.
If we can see a CGI from Gears, that would be huge.
I don't know. If I were them, I would save anything Gears related for next year, just because what's going to happen is we haven't actually seen anything from Halo 5 yet. So next E3 from Microsoft could potentially see Halo and Gears being shown off, and Crackdown, and Scalebound.
You know what I think they're going to do next year? And I once again, here we go with this remake stuff, but I think in order to get access to the new Gears beta multiplayer, you're going to have to get you could buy like sort of an HD collection of Gears 1, 2, and 3.
Well, we all know that the Marcus Phoenix collection is going to be real. Let's get it.
You know what? Listen, I don't have a problem with that, but as long as they do, or at least one of them, like they did the Halo 2.
Yeah, it's nice when they do a different engine.
Yeah, if they could do one of those. Now, listen, I know I sound like a hypocrite, but what Sony did, let me clarify myself, because, what Sony did with The Last of Us, honestly, it's a PlayStation 3 port over. They didn't tear it down from the floor and build it up. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you already played it before, it's really no big deal. Now, how Sony tore The Last of Us down and built it all the way up using the PlayStation 4 power, to me, like I said, it had been a different game, a brand new game, a brand new experience. Now, if Microsoft is going to do the Marcus Phoenix collection out of 1, 2, and 3, if they can do one of those and completely tear from the ground what they're doing with the Halo 2, I'm all for it. Go for it. You know what I mean? I would buy that. You know what I mean? I will be all over that like a cheap suit.
Even like Gears 1, just one game maybe?
One of them. But to pick the best one, they say, well, Gears 2 was the best one. Just pick one of those motherfuckers. Whatever one had the Gears 1, 2, or 3 that had the best story or whatever the fuck, and tear that bitch down from the floor and utilizing the power of the Xbox One, I'm all about that. You know what I mean?
Cool. Hey, y'all, I gotta go, but I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.
All right. Home fucking homo. All right.
Shut up, punk. I heard that. You trying to wait till I leave?
Yeah, my bad. We got another question.
Say it in my face. Bye.
From Megan, who said another question. What are you guys' reactions to Ninja Theory's new IP? You guys know, we crapping you guys know Ninja Theory is. That's the ones who did Heavenly Sword for the PS3. Great game.
Didn't they also do they've done some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but that's what I knew them from. And I was a little disappointed. Omezio, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know who Ninja Theory is, they've done a couple games, but their biggest game to me, if you guys haven't played it, if you haven't made that move over to the PS4, the Xbox One, Heavenly Sword is a great game. They made Heavenly Sword.
Or wait, you may get a remake.
Yeah, well, whatever. They announced that they're working on a brand new IP. I was hoping for a Heavenly 2, a new part 2 or something, but they're doing a new game, so,
Well, I know that they can make a
little let down by that, but long as the game is nice and done one.
Yeah, I know they can make a really pretty game. I know that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Didn't Heavenly Sword? I'm sorry. Didn't Ninja Theory do? They did the last Devil May Cry also.
Yeah, I was going to point that out.
Yeah, they did.
One second.
They did Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Enslaved.
Yeah, this did that.
Yeah, that was really.
Well, they did a few games. You know what I mean? But they said it's going to be a brand new IP. I don't know what platform it's coming to, but we got to wait and see.
All right, cool.
All right, what we got here? We got here from Butts. Matt Kraken, the Xbox just needs to die already. The console is a half-rate cable box now.
Okay, that's cool.
Right. Why would you?
Hey, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah,
Microsoft closed down their entertainment studios. Sony's the one that's doing TV and games now,
well,
buddy.
you know what? Not even so much as that. I'm about to expose this dude here. Now, here's the thing. You said now, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I guess you claim you call yourself a gamer.
He's
And
trolling.
why would you want the Xbox division to close? Because the more competition, even if you're a Sony dude, that keeps Sony on their toes. And secondly, they have more AAA exclusive than Sony. I'm just being real. That's a fact. That's not, Microsoft spent more than $1 billion now, but spent $1 billion on next generation games and studio, three times more than Sony. So how could you say they're a cable company? I don't understand it, bro. So.
Hey, Tony Sniff has a question. He says, why can't all you guys just buy both consoles, enjoy the best of both worlds? He says he now has both, even though X1 is his preferred console. He didn't want to miss out on The Last of Us, Infamous, The Order, and Bloodborne. Two of the guys do have both, but I myself like the games The Last of Us I have on PS3, Infamous I didn't like, The Order doesn't interest me, and Bloodborne doesn't interest me, so it would be a waste of money for me. Until they want to put out something that's interesting and compelling to me personally, it'd be a $400 paperweight. So there's no point in me owning one at this point in time.
Okay, and also too, now I will say this to you, Tony Sniff. You guys know when I bought a PS4 day one, and the only reason that I got the PlayStation 4 are for their. Well, I don't like all their exclusives, but I'm a big God of War fan, and there's no telling when God of War is going to come out. I'm just being real. I'm not taking shots at anybody. But I don't enjoy the PlayStation 4 as much as I do my Xbox One. I'm just, I like what I like. I like the multitasking. I like Xbox Live. I'm an Xbox dude through and through. You know what I mean? But being that, I'm okay. I'm independently wealthy. I'm a dope dealer, so I have a bunch of cash. So I can buy all these gadgets and stuff. But if I only had enough money to buy one console, best believe it would be the Xbox One by far. All right. Until they come up with something, I give credit where credit's due. And let me see this next God of War or whatever the case. I'm not too impressed with the Last of Us remake because I felt that was a cash grab. They got me for $50. Like they didn't have to do that. They didn't truly take their time and that was nothing but a port. You know what I mean? Honestly, real talk. And the PS4 is a very capable system. You know what I mean? Look what they're doing with the Halo 2. You know what I mean? You guys, what's crazy? The excuse they say, well, the reason why Halo 2 looks so good because it hasn't been done in 10 years. No, it looks so good because they took their time, tore that motherfucker down, and built it from the ground up and utilizing, the tools of the Xbox One. And that's what Sony should have did with The Last of Us. Real talk, man. We had another good question out there?
We have a couple. What do we want to do?
Okay.
Like two more. We're going on almost 2 hours. So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me refresh the page here. Hold on. Let me refresh it. Make some more.
Let's see. Mario Duran says, why is Sony having issues implementing new features? Not that they can't. Is it solely software, or can the design of the hardware have something to do with it?
No, listen. Read that question again. Let me think. Read that question again, please.
He says, "Why is Sony This is Mario Duran. He says, "Why is Sony having issues implementing new features? Not that they can't, but is it solely software, or can they design of the hardware have something to do with it?"
It's not the hardware. It's software based when you add things.
Yeah. Well, Sony, like I said, we were just talking about Sony with the GDDR5. It's great for graphics, and but as far as what features, I don't know what you're talking about. As far as the multitasking and all that stuff, you're not going to be able to do those things like you have on the Xbox One. You know what I mean?
Sony's not a software company. You know what I mean? They've never had great software. The PS3 never improved really as far as they never did a big update to the dash or anything like that. So. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we're gonna have time for one more. Of course.
Go ahead.
Let's see.
It's running late.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, ugly ass laugh. Heavenly Sport is a shit game with good graphics. No, I don't agree with that. Haven't you guys heard anything about Microsoft bringing Xbox? Okay. Darren Spivey, have any of you guys heard anything about Microsoft bringing Xbox Arcade on the 360 to the Xbox One? missing hardware space and slash. No. Well,
there's not going to be an arcade, so to speak, on Xbox One. They're just doing games. Yeah, it's
indie games. Indie games are games. AAA's are games. Everything's a game.
Everything has 1,000 gamer score, which I'm happy about that. But I do miss the arcade setup. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I miss? They shouldn't have got rid of it. Remember they had. This was really nice, and I have to look forward to. Like I said before, when Microsoft used to roll out the updates in, I think it was November. It was like you had a whole new console when you had your little arcade cabinet. I had a couple old school arcades in there and shit. You had your own little room and shit. I wish they would bring something like that back. You can invite your friends on your list to your arcade room. You can play your arcade games and shit. I thought that was nice. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring that. I think they're just gonna. I don't know. Like I said, yeah, crap. I won't even say that because look how the Xbox 360 started out. And look at how it ended. And it always would. Like I said, one thing about Microsoft, as far as software and stuff, it's always evolving. You know what I mean? I don't know what the Xbox One may be like 2 years from now. You know what I mean? Probably totally different scheme and how, you know what I mean? Microsoft is good with that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know?
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching the show. We do it. We got a lot of new people here today. We do it once a week. And I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna be able to leave a link to Crap Gamers channel. Most of you guys know on my channel, Showstoppers channel, and you still quit YouTube, Warrior? You still done with that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Warrior. Yeah, you can only see him as exclusive. So all you Warrior What fans, you can only get Warrior here on the Big Gamers Small Talk podcast, man. You can only
he does a podcast with me too. Me and Kinsey, like we do our white nerd cast.
Yeah, but but see, Warrior What's a superstar? He's a celebrity, man. So you can only get him here. Prime time. Thank you guys for coming out, man. God bless you guys, and we will see you next week.
Rack 'em.
Rack 'em, bitches.